Hey everybody, welcome to the next part of repairing a Mitsubishi 700 XD700. The original issue was the color wheel was not acting right, and it turned out that the index mark, which should have been on the color wheel, was not there. This is another color wheel from another Mitsubishi. It's actually the same, almost the same pattern. Actually, it might even be the same pattern. Need something white to put behind it. Let's get a paper towel. So yeah, this is actually the same, almost the same pattern, but the index mark was behind the small yellow segment, which in this case is right here, and it was right in line with that, and it fell off. So, looking at a new color wheel, they ranged from $50 with 1 month delivery time all the way up to $160 with 3-day delivery time. Being that the wheel itself was okay, it was just the little tape bit was missing that goes on there, I was able to harvest an index mark off another color wheel and install it on the original one. That's this wheel right here. Now, it's a little chewy. Let me get it. Zoom in and see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little chewy on the end there near the hub, but it doesn't matter because the index sensor, here's another one. Can you see it even? Let's see if we can get it to focus. No? There we are. The sensor is that black thing right there, and it only really looks at the first half of the hub from here to about here, the middle. Anything past that doesn't really matter. I also used a little bit of higher temp glue to just kind of seal the end so it can't pull off. It'll just make it better for the long term. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to take the color wheel assembly off of the Optic block. I've already removed that from the projector. The color wheel that's in here is from an XD221. I was suspicious that they might be the same color wheel, and color-wise, pattern-wise, they are. The difference is the index mark location. There's the index mark, and the index mark in this case is at the green. Oh, not in frame there. The index mark is right here, and on the 700 the index mark is right here. I didn't see anything about adjusting the index mark in the service manual. No mention of the service manual, or in the service manual, of any sort of color wheel adjustments. It's possible that the 700 has one, but I was unable to find a good service manual for the 700. I could only find a service manual for the 221. And that said there was no index mark adjustment that I could find. You can see these are the same pattern. Get that. You just need a white background to really see it. So you can see it goes green, yellow, red, blue. And then the original is the same way. It's green, yellow. Well, it's hard to tell with a background. There we go. So, I can't even get a good, well, you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do is switch. I gotta switch the housing. Let me zoom out a little bit. And one tip hardcore trick that I've recently discovered is that using the heat sinks from some of these other DLP projectors make very useful stands for working on color wheels. If you place a color wheel just down on something, you can see there's a bit of a lip in the front. And what this does is it keeps the glass from pressing against the surface. You still need to be careful, but this definitely makes me a lot more comfortable when I have to apply a little bit of pressure to, break a screw loose. If it has some Loctite on the threads or glue on the back like these do, because it really makes me nervous and I have to press down, because I have snapped segments before, and that's very frustrating. Alright, so now I need to feed the color wheel wire. Has to come back through. Let's see what's going on here. There we are. And this is the wheel out of the 221. Move that. And then this is the wheel that's going back in. Now we're going to set this one on. It has a little rubber shock mount. It has to go this way because the wire will get in the way of the sensor board if I have it go the other way. See the first screw, no problem. Oh, and the second screw. Oops. Alright, so this has to be cleaned, but it is ready to go back in, so let me get a chamois. What I find, I got a straight up fingerprint on it. I'm going to use some glasses cleaner. And then a paper towel to gently wipe from the center out. I am placing next to no pressure. Alright, so we'll go with this. I'm going to put this back in. I'm actually going to put a glove on, one moment. Alright, so that's ready to go back in. I'm going to set it back in the chassis. Like that. And now I'm going to put the screws back in so that we can test it out. And I am am going to do that off camera because you've seen me do that a few times already. Alright, so it is reassembled. I have the keyboard in place, and I have an amazing piece of white paper. Turn off that overhead light, and let's see if we get a blue background when it turns on. So we should see light pretty quick. See if you see it against my hand there. Yeah, you see it's coming on. So that's a good sign, and the color wheel's not changing speed up and down, which is also good. And that's supposed to be gray, so that's good. I think as long as I don't zoom in too far, we won't get that rolling color wheel synchronization with the phone shutter thing. Hey, look at that blue background. That is what we want. Oh, that looks good. Installation. Ooh, test pattern. Here we go. What do we have? White, black, crosshatch. Let's go to crosshatch. Hey, that looks good too. This is great. Alright, so what I am going to do now is shut it down. And then put the top back on. Put the rear panel on and all the case, and I will do a abbreviated reassembly video for that so you can see how that goes. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is get this plate put back on. It catches on these 3 points on that metal part, and then there's a screw here, and then 1, 2, 3 screws. And these all use the ones with the star washer. Alright, next, I'm going to install the keyboard back into the top case. So slide the bottom over, bring the top case out. You'll remember we took this out so that it makes it easier for troubleshooting. Otherwise you have to kind of maneuver the top shell so that you can plug it in. And then we can put the rear cover on. And it's blue tape up, or blue tab up, however you want to look at it. And then the top goes straight down. I may take a little wiggling. Something on the left side binding. There we go. And it may fight you a little bit, but once you get it down all the way, you'll feel it just kind of settle into place. There won't be any gaps. I opened the that adjustment so I can make sure that knob pops through. Alright. So let's see, bottom screws first. I like to put them in staggered like this. Helps keep the frame square. And I'd put these in by hand. I wouldn't use a power driver for this. You can snap those towers that the screws go into really easily with just even just a little too much speed. Even if you have your clutch turned way down, just the speed of it going in can be enough to crack the plastic. Alright, one more. Then we put the back panel on. And then we'll take it out to the testing area and get a signal into it. Let's see. Yep. Alright, now we can put the back on. Then, actually I should have put these in a little earlier, I guess. That's fine. And I'm just using the drill to start them. Obviously a Phillips isn't going to grab a 5mm hex very well, but sometimes it's enough to at least get it started. And then I finish it with the nut driver. Starting them by hand can be a little tough. Your fingers don't really, at least my fingers don't really get in there. Alright, and then a 5mm nut driver. I could do it with the drill, but like I've said before, these are very prone for snapping if you over tighten them. They're not very strong, not supposed to be. And really, I guess you want one of these to break before the connector. So I go by hand, then I just snug it down with my hands. That tends to be actually quite good. Next, lamp access door. Now this is important. When you put the lamp access door on, be mindful of this piece. This is what activates your lamp switch. If this snaps off or goes in wrong, you'll have all sorts of problems. So just make sure you set it into that slot. I'll show you from the side. Oops. That slot, not that slot. That one goes into that slot. So really, when you open it up, it only comes out about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch or so. Same thing for going back on. And then this screw holds it shut, but again, just snug. That's all we want. And then this goes back on, and it goes a specific way because the tabs are different thicknesses. So we look at the hole, big hole, small hole, big tab, little tab, notch goes down. And that should do it. So we'll take this out, and I'm going to fire it up with the signal in it. Alright, so let's get a signal on here, power, and let's use RGB1, computer 1 maybe. Now I have it connected to a laptop, that cruddy old Acer. But the cruddy old Acer will do the job. Come on. Alright, so the projector is on. Let's get the focus much better. Alright, let's zoom it out. And let's get back in here. And let's get a video up, because what I'm going to do, now that scrolling that you're seeing, that's the shutter of the camera, and the projector's color wheel not being in sync. That screen actually is a nice white picture where it's supposed to be white. I don't know if you all can hear that, but it is pouring like crazy out. Let's get our HD going here. Full screen. It's a really nice picture. These Mitsubishis always have nice pictures. So there we go. I am going to let this run. Let that guy run. Put a couple hours on it. Make sure that color wheel's happy with the index mark repair. And that there's no other issues that I need to worry about. Everything looks good. So, yeah, I will pack it up and get it back to the customer later this week. And hopefully it gives them plenty of years of good use. So, if you have any questions, you know what to do. And as always, thank you for watching. And here we have the XD700 up and running. This is a YouTube video of some underwater nature scenes. Just wanted to check the picture quality and the focus, and it's all looking really good so far. It's obviously upside down because this is a ceiling mount projector. I'm not going to change that to make it easier for the fellow to put back in when he gets it back. So I'm going to continue to run it, maybe 3-4 hours, and as long as everything runs well through that, I'm going to call it good to go, and we'll get it sent back to him. So, as always, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, do me a favor and put them down below in the comments section. If you need a lamp, I'll also leave a link to a couple places where you can get decent lamps for this model. Lamp is also good for a WD720. I'll try to put that in the description if I remember. And do me a favor and subscribe if you don't already. If you don't subscribe, hey, that's fine too. It's up to you. So, as always, thank you for watching.